Thanks for coming to Garage Point Zero, watch my videos where I build stuff and do stuff. Enjoy. Hello. So I want to talk about the Renogy stuff that I got. I pretty much bought all Renogy for my truck. I got the solar panels hooked up. I never put a video about that out, but I still might do that. I did video it. I put 100-watt solar panel on the top of the truck. But we just had a really cold snap here in Ohio. It was like 0 degrees for a day or whatever. I got up to like 10 the next day. So I was looking at my battery. I'm supposed to be using this stuff like off-road and sleeping in the back of the truck using it, and I got it set up in the back of the truck. If you go back to one of my other videos, you'll see that. And I called Renogy, and here's what they told me. So I'll try to walk you through everything they told me. So here's my setup pretty much in the back of the truck. Let's start with this. This is the Bluetooth module I bought originally, BT2. Let me try to put you on this side, see if I can get rid of that glare. I feel like that's a little better. There. I feel like that's a little better. Okay, I got a BT2 I originally bought. It was a piece of crap. Bluetooth connection lost all the time. Kept losing connection, kept losing connection. I had to restart the app, restart my phone for it to connect. So do not buy this. Do not buy the Bluetooth module. Whoop. Don't waste your money. I had one for the battery and one for the DC charger. So the next thing I got is a self-heating battery and also a DC to DC charger. There's a monitor I got, I'll show you towards the end of this, that tells you everything that's going on with this, tells you everything that's going on with this. So let's start with the DC charger. I was out on a trip and the battery wasn't charging during the day. Kind of my fault. I didn't realize the F150 has a smart alternator. So if it is putting in, or if it's not sensing that it needs a charge, it'll drop to 12.5 volts. So it'll range between 14.1 and 12.5. Well, 12.5, this won't really kick on. It's not giving any amp. So you have to make sure this ignition wire, I think it was a little red wire it come with, plug in. It's about right there on the thing. I drew it. Not actual size, but I drew it. So this ignition wire has to go to a 12 volt switched source. 12 volt switched. So that way, say you start the truck, this will turn on automatically, and that'll help keep this at the 14.1 volt. I did still see it drop down to like 13.5 or something, but it's still pushing amps to this, which is essentially charging the battery. So this one goes to the alternator. Here's what they told me with this stuff. If you don't have this hooked up, say you don't have solar, which I'm going to put a breaker on there, I think, because right now I just got it from my solar panel here. If you don't have solar, because I got the 30 amp one, so if you don't have solar, it'll charge from the alternator at 30 amps. I don't know if I ever remember seeing it charge at 30 amps, but they say it will. So I do remember seeing it get pretty high before I did the solar when I had the Bluetooth, but I said don't buy the Bluetooth. So then they said it's going to, the 30 amps is kind of going to go 50-50. So from the alternator, you can get 15 amps. From the solar, you can get, if you have enough solar, they said it'll also do 20 amps here. Then you're only putting 10 amps here. So, but no matter what, once you get solar, now I have seen 16 amps charge rate, but no matter what, you're not going to get the 30 amps that this says it's for. I was under the impression it would, which they said solar is priority. So with solar being priority, it's going to charge solar first and then make, I thought it would make up the difference. So if you, at the most I've had so far is 4 amps. So that's the most I've ever had with my solar, because I only got 100-watt panel. it keeps up with the fridge and stuff like that during the day. That's what I was wanting if I had it parked. So the 4 amps coming in with solar, it's only going to put out 15 amps to charge this. So far that I don't know if that's going to leave me not enough power or not. I didn't have this hooked up the last time I used it for 3 or 4 days. So we're going to see what this does. See if that helps everything. Because I'd get places and the battery wasn't fully charged. I was like, well, maybe the fridge was running a bunch. Whatever. So I wish I would have bought the 50 amp one. If I would have bought the 50 amp one, then I would have had 25 amps, up to 25 amps coming from here, no matter what this is putting in. If this started putting 30 amps in, then I would only had 20, which is fine, but I'm never going to have 30 amps because I'm going to put maybe one more 100-watt solar panel just to be able to keep up and charge the battery back with the fridge being in there. So it kind of aggravates me when I can only charge at 16 amps with the solar. So I'm going to put like I said, I'm going to put a switch here, or a breaker, little breaker or something. That way I can turn this off when I'm driving if I want to, like a cloudy day, you know you're not going to get solar. But so even if it's a cloudy day and you're putting 0.1 amp from the solar, you're still only going to get 16. I don't know why they did it that way. I don't understand that, but that's the way they did it. So now they got really cold. I got a 100 amp hour self-heating battery. When you're thinking self-heating, you're kind of thinking, okay, it'll maintain its temperature. Because I can't remember what it is. It's like 30 degrees, or I think 31 degrees. It has to maintain 31 degrees to be able to charge this. If not, then it kind of, that's the only bad thing about the LiPos is it's going to shut itself down for charging. You can still use out of it, but you can't charge it. Just because it protects itself. It's like the one downfall is cold. But what they said is this, if you were charging this, so you're putting in, I got a 10 amp charger. You're putting in 10 amps and it's 31 degrees. Say it drops to 24 degrees. It'll continue to charge. They said the heater takes 4 amps. So I'm still essentially putting in 6 amps. That's no big deal. That's not bad at all. But they said, say you want to charge it after it drops below this, it won't start charging because the heater's not on. So you got to warm up the battery to get above this to get the heater to come on to charge the battery. I don't know why they did that. I can definitely see them not wanting to turn the heater on all the time every time it gets cold because it's just going to kill itself. But why wouldn't it, if you start charging this, why wouldn't it turn the heater on, warm up the battery, and then start charging the battery? So I was essentially out of luck for 3 days of charging this battery. If I was out camping and I started driving around, because this is the overlanding rig, if I started driving around, I wouldn't be able to charge it until it got warm. So I think I'm going to get a battery warmer. It's a battery blanket, I believe it is. I think I'm going to get a battery blanket, kind of wrap it around it, and I'm going to run it to the front of the truck, so to the starting battery, and then I'll only use it when I start the truck and I can turn it on to heat this back up. That way when I'm driving around it heats it back up. I also thought about moving this to the engine bay. That way it stays warm in there when I'm driving around. But I doubt I'll do that because I really don't want to redo all that. So I got 2 codes the day that it was really cold. 03009. And if you go to, so I downloaded all this stuff, so I have it on my phone. If you go to the code, it's pretty much protecting itself. It tells you that it's too cold. Battery low temp discharge. So it was too cold to actually discharge. And then 9 is battery low temp protection charge. There those are. There those are. Battery, low temp, charge, and then discharge. So essentially it wouldn't do either because of that. Now I didn't really have a problem with it discharging, because I did have a little bit of stuff on, so it didn't really shut the battery down, but I don't know. So now let me take you over to the truck. So here's them two monitors I said I got. I like this better. I wish the Bluetooth would have worked, but I do like this better. The top one tells you how many amps you got coming in from solar, how many amps you got coming in from the alternator, what the temperature is, 48, and it says the battery is 59. This is the DC to DC charger, and then it might be backwards. No, that's MPT charger. That's the charger, and this is supposedly the battery. That's how much kilowatts, that's how many volts, starting volts, how many amps I got coming in. So right now, since it's sitting kind of in the sun, I got 0.2 amps, which it says 0.2 amps, which the battery, little battery gauge is moving up. It's at 13.1 volts, state of charge is 67, and then it tells you it's a, I don't know why it dropped to 99.9, but there's still a warning on there, and it's battery low temp warning, charge. So I don't know why the low temp is on there. I'd have to read more about it or call tech support. So I don't understand why they would make it to where if you put it in a camper or something like that, it would not kick the charger on, or the heater on if you started charging it. Turn the heater on, start charging it, turn the heater on, and then once the battery is in a safe level to start charging, then start charging with the heater on. Or while you're charging, it might heat it up enough to keep it warm enough. So I don't know. It was cold. It was really cold. I mean, I don't want to be outside in that much of cold, but I think they did it wrong. But maybe it's too hard to do it a different way. I don't know, just something to look for if you getting Renogy stuff. I'm not very happy that it does that, but I'm not unhappy with the Renogy stuff yet. So it just works different. I guess I didn't read enough about it, but I feel like no matter how much you read about it, you end up finding other stuff out about it anyways when you're done. So all right, well, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you got the information you need to put a heater on your battery first, or like I said, I think I'm gonna run one from the starting battery. It's only gonna come on when I'm actually running, not all the time, not killing my starting battery. It's just necessarily coming from up there. That way I don't have to try to charge, take out of this battery back here. So thanks for watching again. See ya.